Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Stephanie Robles here, and you see me with this very serious monotone because of the simple fact that I'm talking about something pretty serious. And I'm actually asked the lady that I was helping if it was okay to share her story because it just had me in tears sitting here talking to someone. A lot of times we think that PTSD is an issue that it's over with because of the wars have kind of come and gone and deployments come and go, but it still affects certain people to a degree. Her family was not, she didn't see this as a problem until maybe the fourth or fifth deployment. And then little things started adding up that weren't appropriate or right, and it just wasn't right for her. And I did kind of some research, and the numbers are very different. Some say 70% of people come back with PTSD from some type of deployment that they do, to 50% to 25%. So there's a range in there. I'm going to say 50% of most soldiers come back with that. And then what then? These are some of the symptoms that kind of go on. The person will have nightmares, anger, rage or irritability, depression, loss of self-esteem, difficulty trusting others, guilt, trouble sleeping, substance abuse, isolation and alienation from others, having thoughts or memories that will not go away, anxiety, heightened sense of danger, and hyper-alertness or startling response changes. Some people don't change very well to certain things. And her experience was after he had came back from a deployment. He was in Afghanistan, and he had came home, and gradually he started kind of having flashbacks. He was pacing the house. He was patrolling the house and checking doors. It was almost like he was there again. And they had just had children. They have, if I'm not mistaken, they have 3 children, and one they had just had, so they were babies. And she had said that she had woken up and he was out of the bed, and he was just patrolling and checking doorways, and she had to kind of calm him down and got him back to sleep. But she also noticed that he not only was doing that, but he would jump in his sleep, to the point where when she would go to hold him, or whenever they were cuddling at night, she would get punched in the stomach, or she would sit here and get choked, or it was just a very crazy time. And she was in the position where she didn't know what to do about it. What was I going to do about this? How was I going to help my children? Hey, Seth, that is my man. He deals with and helps people with PTSD as well. So if you don't feel comfortable reaching out for help, here at Fort Campbell, they have a military family life counselors that can get you help. Reach out to my man Seth, and he will help you get the help you need, because it's definitely hard, being difficult, especially not only for the soldier, but the wife. You know, they say contact the police and contact the help, but how do you help someone when they're asleep? When they're asleep and they're not conscious of what they're doing. They do not know. They honestly don't know. And so you're put in a position as a parent. Who am I going to help? How am I going to do these things? And you're nervous and you're scared. Some people live paycheck to paycheck. Some people can't afford daycare. Some people can't do those things. And I'm not one to judge anybody and what you decide to do. And I was kind of nervous to kind of even talk about this because everybody's experience is so different. But I wanted to put this out there. This message was definitely bigger than me. And after hearing that story, I could not put that out there. There's so many places and so many different organizations that can help you without facing reprisals. But please get the help that you need. And if you're a wife and you notice that your husband is exhibiting certain things that are not correct, get the help that you need. If you're not going to do it for him, do it for your children. Because this could have ended up in a very different way. And I'm happy that he was able to go to therapy. It's a light therapy that they were doing, and he's doing a 12-step program, and it's really helping him and their marriage get back on track. So she started, he was punching her and hurting her and choking her, and she was in a position where she didn't know what to do. So luck would have it, she had done some research on the light therapy that they have. It's a new light therapy. There's somebody that specializes about it on Post, and he's a pastor. So she had a conversation with him, and she had talked to her husband about it, and he was just denying it, and he was scared for himself. They were sleeping in separate bedrooms. It was a very difficult time, and kids can tell. So you can only imagine the amount of stress. It was to the point where when he would go on vacation from work, he would go on vacation, and the day before he had to return to work, he would not get a night's sleep because of the anxiety of what was going to come, what was going to happen. He was scared and very frightful and didn't know what to do. So it got so bad, basically, that one night he had a flashback, and he actually was around the house with a butcher knife, one of the knives, and was, patrolling and doing his, what he was doing. And she's trying to talk him down. And that's when she knew that it was really, really serious and something had to be done. So she was trying to get out of her home. She actually hit a car trying to get all the kids together and everything. And she left, and she had told him, if you do not call this number, do not get this help, I'm not coming home. And thank goodness that's what it took to push him to get the help that he needed. And it's different for everybody. It's very different for everybody. They even put him on some sleep medicine to help him get some sleep. He was ranging maybe 3 hours of sleep a night. And when you don't get enough sleep, or REM sleep, which is the deep sleep, to let your body rest so that you're able to do and process things with a clear mind and do things correctly, he wasn't getting that sleep. He took half a pill from the medicine that they had given him, and it wasn't working for him. And she had to report it right away. She even had to go with him to the therapist and make sure that he was telling them the absolute truth. Because again, for some, it's a very shameful thing. They feel ashamed. They feel that because they've been through all these wars that nobody's going to understand where they're coming from. And they feel a sense of shame and like they shouldn't be doing this. But you don't have to be alone. You don't have to be alone, and you don't have to be by yourself. There's plenty of people that go through these things, and they reach out and they get the help. And some sadly don't get the help, and they end up doing something tragic, and there's a loss of life. And in my opinion, these soldiers have sat here and sacrificed so much for our country and done so many things that they come home with scars unseen. And it's a sadness, and they deal with those burdens internally. And it brings home that people battle and they have scars that are unseen. And they look and walk and talk like regular people, but nobody kind of understand what happens to that home life. After all of that, one thing is one thing, and then when they come home, it's a completely different situation. There are times where there's triggers where somebody is talking, or they hear a baby scream, or sometimes the pitch of the baby screaming triggers that person. So they have to figure out what works for them, and everybody's different. What works for them? What are that person's triggers? Get help. If you need help, please get help. We have so many people taking their lives and going through so many things, and it's a sad, sad, sad thing. And then these children miss out on their parents, on their fellow loved ones. No parent should have to bury their child. No parent should ever have to do that. And it is up to us as people with hearts to put this message out there, because there's so many that are scared, frightened. And I'm a military wife myself. My husband's active duty. And it's scary when you don't know as a wife what to do and what not to do, because you don't want to hurt anybody. You don't want to do anything, and you don't know what type of help or what type of repercussions that can happen because of getting help. There's plenty of avenues to get that help. Again, my friend Seth Allen is right there. Excuse me, I get choked up talking about it because it's such an emotional story. And I have children of my own, and I can't imagine someone going through that. And her bravery to come and talk about those things. And it's scary. It's very scary for any parent, and not knowing where to get that help. So if there's definitely places that out here that you can get help. If you see your husband, your brother, your cousin, whoever it is in your family struggling, looking for help, not doing things or acting a certain way, that pick up that, have a conversation with them, talk to them, get them some type of help. Some people are not receptive to it. And sometimes it has to, you got to put them in between a rock and a hard place sometimes in order to push them to get the help that they need. And once he was put between that rock and that hard place, he actually got help. And sometimes these traumas that people have are traumas that even from childhood that they kind of repress and you don't think about. Your brain, we're so intelligent that if it causes you any pain, any anxiety, anything, we repress it. And then when you're put in a life or death situation or doing whatever your job is to do, it comes back to you and it hits you like a Mack truck and you're struggling. I want to say that it is like somebody sinking in quicksand and they're looking for help. You know, you're struggling. If you struggle, you're going to go deeper. If you stay still, you're still sinking, but not as fast. You're looking for somebody to hold out that lifeline, that branch, to help you out of that quicksand. Think of it that way. And if you're not going to do it for them, do it for those kids. Do it for that parent. Do it for that person. Because it's okay to ask for help and there's nothing wrong with it. And I just wanted to bring that message out there and let everybody know that story. I mean, it touched my heart. I kind of choked up a little bit and I apologize. I understand. I don't know what others go through over there because it's extremely hard. I mean, I don't want to know what my loved one is going through over there. I don't even watch the news because it puts me in a state. It's fear. You're scared. I don't want anything to happen to somebody that I care about and I love. I don't want anything to happen. And sometimes they're not allowed to tell us. So they come home and they go through things and they see things that we don't see on a daily basis. We're not exposed to that every day. And it's so strong of them to go through that. And I'm just on the other side of that fence. But in the same token, it's not really talked about. What does a family have to deal with? What does that family go through? That decision-making process. When do you reach out? And some people call the police and some people go to that extent. And I'm nobody to judge. You do what you have to do because again, you're a person. You know exactly what's going on in your own household and nobody's there to judge. As long as there's some type of help to just get the help that they need so that we don't lose any more precious lives because all lives matter. It's just a sad realization that it happens and they fight so hard for so long and they don't know where to go. So I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. Thank you for jumping on, supporting, loving, liking my video. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the day. Bye.